Hello and welcome back to Junkyard Builder. So in this series of videos we're just going through a playthrough in real time, and whilst I do that I'll just pass on anything that I have picked up about the game itself. Any useful hints and tips. So the first thing we've got here is 2 items stuck together. That's a new one for me. Haven't seen that before. So what I did find is through the course of making videos in various formats, you kind of learn how to optimize the gameplay best. And so I had not really focused on any of the upgrades aside from the cart capacity, which seemed to make sense. So what I've been doing is rather than selling absolutely everything, I've been trying to use just the materials that I needed to then basically have enough left for these balers that we're seeing here. And when I actually did look into the upgrades in a little bit more depth, well, actually the many bags that were dotted around the yard, the bin bags, whilst we could search through them and some of them contained cash, so I would recommend searching through all the bags. Some of the perks that are in there, so I'll just explain what I'm doing here. I've put that in the cart to separate it, because we'll take it back out as an individual item then. So the perks would mean that you could potentially be getting more money out of those bin bags and out of the various trash piles that were around the yard. So when you first come into the yard, as well as all these kind of individual bits, there was also piles of junk. And actually, when I searched through them, it didn't feel like there was very much in there, but that's because I hadn't used the upgrade. So, quite interesting. You live and you learn, as they say. So the approach that I've taken at this stage in the playthrough is I'd originally put the dumpsters right near this delivery point, collection point. So what we're doing is we've got 2 things. We can either take this van and go to another area and collect different materials, or over here, every half an hour we get delivered some precious new junk, as you can see here. And so what I'd done is I'd put the dumpsters near here to basically just empty the truck and sell it straight away. But once you unlock the machinery, then you can actually convert these raw materials into better products, essentially, so you get more money. So you can see here we can put literally low value bits of paper, so newspaper and plastic cups, and each of those will be recognized as one item of paper, which means after 4 minutes we'll have a nice big bale of paper that we can sell for more cash. And I think that was something like $70. And we could do the same with the plastic. So earlier in my playthrough, I'd kind of got the relevant materials next to the machines so that we could work efficiently. And each one of them requires 3 items of whatever material it is, and then there's a countdown. So the upgrades, the upgrade system to the character is how far you can throw materials. So at the moment, if I pick something up and press the throw button, you can see it doesn't go very far at all. So I guess the throw button means that if you upgrade that, you could stand here and go for some basketball type shots into your dumpsters. The other upgrades are to how frequently you get deliveries. So you can cut down I think it's half an hour, every half an hour, to like every 10 minutes or something ultimately. And similarly, there's upgrades to the efficiency of the balers. So what we'll do in this video is we'll carry on with a bit of maintenance. So as you can see, what I started to do is I kind of judged roughly where each of the balers would be and left myself enough space to put in the related dumpster. So our scrap pile at the moment is a little bit further away than we would like. What I will do actually is just for, well, not just for the purposes of the video, because we hopefully pick up some stuff, let's go and visit another area. So when we get to the gate, then we can travel to another location, and you can see that they vary in how much they cost. Now, just because I've already been to the forest, I'm just going to return there, not just because it's cheapest, but also just to see whether the stuff there replenishes, because our truck can contain up to 10 items. And so what I'd done is tried... that's the dog in the background, not doing too well. What I tried to do is focus on obviously the higher value items to make the trip worthwhile. So it's cost us $100 to get here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scope out what's around us to get a rough idea of what the most expensive items are. So boxes and plastic, not so great. A fire extinguisher at $75 feels like a good one. So we've already got a return almost on our cash. I suppose what would be good here is if you are looking to restore vehicles and whatnot. So that's 80, we'll take that one. And hopefully there would be some vehicle parts and things other than what gets delivered to your scrapyard. As you can see, it's essentially, for want of a better phrase, a bit of a fly tipping area which we're going to pick over and take the high value items. So we've picked that bit over. There's not an awful lot there. So let's move on. Have a look over here. So the sign is probably worth, so that's worth 30. The cone's worth 20. Probably into the lower value items now. 50, I think we'll pick that up and take it on our way as we have a look over these other areas. So we'll just pop that down there for now. Did I skip an area there? Don't think I did. So that's where we got the container from. Looks like this could be a little bit more promising. A gas cylinder, a dumpster base. We'll pick those up and put them in our pile here. We shall take that one. So nothing kind of majorly groundbreaking. It would be nice if there were some more unique items, you know, for the stuff that we need to recycle, but beggars can't be choosers. So a wooden crate, small dumpster base. Yeah, we're kind of into the $30 category now, aren't we? So let's get these in the back of the truck. The speaker, 35. A metal element. So let's grab our higher value stuff that we put in our pile here. Through the trees. And hopefully whilst we're out and about doing this, the timer for those daily deliveries is still ticking away. I think that's how it works. So how many items do we have at the moment? I think we're going to then be into kind of $30, $35 category as our next bit. So we can take another 4 items. So we'll take the loudspeaker, like so. $10, $10. So let's start over here. I think the trunk, or the box thing here, was about 30, was it? The crate is 30. So that's going to go with us. There we are. So anything around about $30 now is probably going to be worth taking. Nothing much there. Wasn't anything much in that area. Just make sure that we've explored them all. A tyre, I think, is about 20 or so. Yep. And we've got a number of those on the yard, so don't really need to pick that up. The sign is probably going to be 30, is it? Yes, it is. You can come with me. Put that in. How many were? So we got one final item. So $30 would be good. I think we're probably going to be looking more like 20. Nothing great there. So a bit of an excursion away from the yard. So that adds a nice little extra kind of game mechanic, I suppose. I'm not sure we're even going to get $20 items here. Okay, thinner can 25, you will do. So let's get that in the truck and head back to our scrapyard. And we literally just reverse until we get back to our junkyard. So back to the junkyard, and we got our precious materials have unloaded, so let's get those sold. So we'll start with the metal, because we got the metal dumpster right near us. Gas cylinder is metal. So as you can see, when you hover over the objects, it will tell you what they're made up of. The dumpster base is metal as well. Now if you put them into the wrong dumpster, you will get the amount that it was worth deducted, so it is worth being a little bit careful. I put these quite close together just for aesthetics, and probably wasn't the best idea. And as you can see, we did, that's plastic, we did move those next to our machines over here. So it's really not worth, as far as I can tell, if you put a more expensive item, so say we put that speaker into plastic, then the bale wouldn't be worth any more than the normal price. So we'd be better off selling those items. Wood. Have we got one for... We got paper, plastic. I suppose that feels like a bit of a waste to put it there, honestly. But you know, that's all we can do with wood, then so be it. Let's have a look what we've had delivered since. Fire extinguisher is a nice one, that's $75 easy. because we're working towards our next piece of machinery. The reason I've not sold the barrels is they're not big value items, and I'm going to need the raw materials for the baler. A mattress, I'm not sure we're going to be able to... Well, let's try. I was going to say I'm not sure we're going to be able to restore this, but there's only one way to find out. Let's take it over to the workshop. And if it gives us the option, which it does, to put it in to the area, and yes, we can clean it, and hopefully that makes it a little more expensive, or makes us a bit more money, shall I say. Okay, so we've got a couple of bits here that we haven't yet cleaned. So that's actually doubled the price. That's well worth doing. So in order to sell this, we're going to put it into our... if we can get it through the door, into our storage so that we can sell it via the laptop. Put that in. And we can have a look at how much our next machine is. So let's go to the market first and sell our mattress. So that was well worth the time and effort. So workshop, I think the garbage incinerator is 2,500. So we've got a way to go there in order to get our next bit. So what we'll do is let's set do a bit of multitasking. Let's get some of these plastic items into the baler so that we can make some money. So again, 3 items, and that'll take 4 minutes to convert it into a lovely bale of goods. Over here we got a couple of different bits that we can restore. So anything that looks like it could be restored. We will put into our cart and take over. Anything that can't, we'll just sell for instant cash, just to keep this area from getting a bit too out of hand. Now that table says it's dirty, so as we saw with the other one, okay, so it's only worth, it's only an extra $10, but you know, every little helps. Metal can, so let's take, there's a lot of different dressers in this game because I'd started making a pile of the different bits that I could fix. So the cabinets, and I ended up with kind of probably about 8 or 9 piles of the various bits. So we'll take these over. The radio we have to sell, so I'll just run that over actually. We have to sell that in the warehouse as well. We can't put that in our dumpsters, and unfortunately we can't refurbish this either. I'm pretty sure we can. I'll just check. If this area highlights green, then we could. So I'm just going to pop it in the warehouse. I'm not going to sell it straight away because I'm just going to move some of this this delivered stuff over. Over near our workshop, I have organised the different products that we can refurbish. So that's going to be broken down into vehicles and cabinets. So there's 4 different types of cars that I'm aware of at the moment, all of which are in various states of disrepair, and we need to fix them. So I'm making piles of the relevant bits. So we have here, you have to drop it to see what it is, an Eldorian wooden door. So let's remind ourselves which pile. That's a Redmere, Valmara, Eldorian. Okay, so that one belongs to him. So if you haven't watched the other videos, then I'll just recap a little bit that what you need to do is Brando. I don't think we had a Brando anywhere. Is you need to clean them and then paint them, and that increases the return that you get. Big wardrobe. So again, it's yet another new type, so we'll leave that right there. We have sometimes the mechanics, as you saw there. We'll stall a little bit. Let's see what this one is. So this is an oak spire, and if we rotate it, then we can see we need 2 drawers for that one. We have another cabinet. Now, did this say it was an old? I think we got 2 of these. I think that's the same, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll just rotate this. So you can stack things and rotate and place them down nicely. I haven't been too concerned with that just yet. So we've got a left and a right drawer here, which we'll leave in front of this one. We have a left and a right of the medium. So we've got all the bits there to be able to restore that one. And we'll leave the left drawer for that one over there. We'll carry on emptying the cart. So we got a wheel here, so that's nice. Just need the cart to fit it onto. Another wheel. There we are. 4 more items. So we got another one of the doors. I think it's called an Arpus, this one. There we go. We have a sheet of metal, which I actually could have just sold. I didn't really need to pick that up, to be honest. But we'll put it in our... Well, I'll put it there for now. I'll drop that. So it is quite easy to get distracted from your task. So say you've just set yourself the goal of purely getting your yard into order and moving the materials into piles. It's easy to get a bit sidetracked with another task. So we got some bits there for various things. Let's do this dresser. Let's do this dresser so that we can make ourselves some cash, because we don't have all the drawers for that one. So we'll take these bits over to our workshop here and just plonk them down for the moment. Probably just could have actually put them in the cart, couldn't I? Okay, that goes in. That goes in. That one. That one. And that should be all the parts we need. So in order to be able to refurb them, we need to do all the parts separately. Now, if you have a unit that does have some drawers in already, then as you can see, you can't actually put it in there until you have taken it apart. So to do that, we're going to have to remove the left drawer, and actually we'll give that priority. So we then have to clean all of the items, and then we have to choose a lovely colour to paint them. So we could actually restore all of these bits and put them into piles ready to then assemble them. But I just go about this. The colour really doesn't make any difference to the price, but it's nice that they've added that option in. So whilst you can spray different doors, different colours, you can't spray one object more than one colour. If you try, then the progression bar of completeness resets. Unfortunately, put that in there. Again, give it a bit of a clean. And then we'll paint it as well. So not a mechanic I expected on a scrapyard game, to be honest, but it's very welcome. It's nice that there's a little bit of variety to the different game mechanics. So we've got a bit of our kind of production type stuff, like recycling, a touch of recycling centre with the balers there. We've got a touch of power wash simulator with this restoring bit. And then we can go off and buy different objects as well. And we have some containers in our yard, very mysterious containers that cost $3,000 to buy and open. So you would think there's going to be some interesting stuff in there. Or you would hope that if you're going to invest that kind of cash, that there's something exciting. Now, this is usually quite forgiving, but we have clearly missed somewhere here. Ah, that bit down at the bottom. Still got some missing bits. So I have found this before, actually. Not very often, but where... Oh, it's done it. Where it doesn't say it's completed. So I've only had it happen once, to be honest. And I basically restarted it, and not the game, the cleaning process, and then it worked. As I say, this isn't kind of... Whilst it's got shades of power wash simulator, it's not that kind of mechanic where you've got to find every nook and cranny to be able to complete your project. It is quite forgiving. Not forgiving enough for me not to paint the side or back at all, though. So you can see on the bottom left of the screen that the current object value is displayed, and as we improve it, that increases. So when we put the drawers in and whatnot, then the object value will go up, and we can pop it into our warehouse and sell it. Again, we've missed this side completely. So that's that done. Once we've done it, then we're over to our oh, has that gone back in there? Yeah, that happens sometimes. No, it hasn't. Then, yeah, we go back into our assembly area, but let's finish this off. Give this a nice clean. Maybe we'll have some accent drawers here. Okay. I'll choose a slightly different colour. Just for fun. Go with a nice light blue. And give this a nice paint. Bring it back to its former glory. Pick that up. And then we can actually assemble this. So you can see it's going to go into the green area. Like so. We'll pick this up and put that on. And then we should have another... We've got 3 items in there. We should have a fully restored cabinet to make us a good few dollars. So that was really forgiving that time. I only give it a couple of strokes of the brush and it was done. Not that I'm complaining about that. Beautiful. And pop that in. Insert, and last but not least, our final piece of the puzzle. Paint pistol, start on the back this time. The top tip is once you've restored something, don't try and pick it up from the front because it will more than likely just take out. As you can see there, if I went to pick that up, I just remove the drawer. So I do pick it up from the back here. And that means we can then put it into our storage. Let's see what we can get for it. Market, sell. So we can make $290 from selling that old radio and what we just lovingly restored. So that moves us a little bit closer to our 2,500 for our next milestone, our next machine. See what we put in here. So we put another drawer in there, so let's go and put that back. Where is it? It's gone back in. Let's go and pop that back with this bit here. There we go. Is that medium? No, that's something completely different. What I'm going to do is on my way over and then collect some plastic because well, we've got plastic and paper by the machines at the moment, so we can mix it up. We can put different materials into the cart. So we'll collect these boxes on our way. Which gets us our yard a bit tidier as well, so it's always a bonus. We got bits of newspaper here that we can pop in. The brick, actually, I'm not sure that we get any machinery that does anything with that, so we'll probably have to break that down with the hammer if we're going to completely clear this area. That's the paper and plastic. We can fit one more in, so we get this in there, and then we'll go and pop this over next to the relevant machines. We'll pop our cart there in the middle. We'll put the paper straight onto the baler. 3 items at a time makes us our paper bales. And we'll make a little pile here as well. For our next bit. More paper. And then I think we're onto plastic, weren't we? So let's get that. Actually, we'll put this onto the machine. And one more here to set that into production, and then we should have, we got a couple of plastic bales here, so rather than having to take these over to the warehouse, which is what I was doing before, we can literally sell them straight via our dumpsters. So we've picked that up. Collision Mechanics wasn't too happy about that. So $75 per plastic bale is not too shabby. We should have a paper bale over here from our previous bit. Doesn't want to go in. There we go, $60. And so we're starting to get things into a little bit more order. So we've got a drawer here. What have we got? We've got 7 minutes till the next delivery. So again, what we'd want to do is take the bits that we can upcycle down to our warehouse using the cart. So we'll fill that up. The other stuff, like the plastic and the paper, we can put next to the relevant machine. It does look at first when you're putting it into the cart that it's converting it into scrap, but it will be restored to its former glory when we take it out. So we're starting to get a bit more efficient now with this. So as I probably said on previous videos, earlier into the game, the progression takes longer, a nice pace for you to open up the different things that you'll need. And then, as you can expect, that kind of levels out a little bit as you go through your playthrough. So things are a bit more challenging to unlock because a lot of the early stuff is kind of $100. What I want to do is, on my way back, I'm just going to pick up any items that we can restore. 8, perfect. So we got just enough room to pick all those up. Head on back over to our corner here. I'm just going to leave that there for the next video rather than sort all the individual parts out. We'll just have a little scan round. So we don't have enough parts to restore all of that yet. It looks like we're missing a drawer for that one. That potentially is just a door on the front by the looks of it. Looks like we've got the drawer, so we can restore that one in the next video. And then we've got various other bits scattered around. I've not really gone to this area just yet. Just have a little look if there's anything of any real value. So that looks like it could be for one of those, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Eldorian. Oh, so that could have been. Maybe we need 2 drawers. We shall find out in the next video. This one, we're missing 2 drawers, so there's nothing much that we can restore at the moment. Car parts, as you'd expect, are a little bit trickier to come by, so there's not much we can do in that aspect. We do have a pile of tyres that we already had from the yard. We got our metal pile that we need to move over a bit for when we get our next machine. Although the next one was an incinerator, wasn't it, rather than a baler. So we'll round off this video by taking our processed products and selling them, and we'll see where we're at in terms of cash. So we wanted 2,500 for the next machine. If I can get there, we got another 200 or so, haven't we? So if we got anything that we could sell for that price, just to finish off that video, what I could do is sell one of the car bodies. Let's go and see if we can do that. I don't really want to sell the Arpus because that looks quite cool. But that would get us 600. 420. Let's do it. Put it in. Over to the market to sell it. Kind of against my own rules here. There we go. But it means that we can round the video off nicely by unlocking our next machine, which is the garbage incinerator, which is great, but if you've been with me for the whole of the playthrough, you'll know that I went through every garbage bag in the yard and searched through them, because in some of them was some cash. So that means that I don't have any left. So I was thinking the next thing would be something that we could do. Which way around does this go? I'm not sure which is the business end, but let's put it down. Okay, that is unfortunate. Because there was a whole yard full of garbage bags. I'm just going to rotate this. Yeah, there's a whole yard of garbage bags which I picked over for the dollars inside. That's not straight, but you know, I was going to say I'll do it later, but I will do that now. Get that straightened up. Put it down. So there we go. We're being asked to incinerate 5 trash bags in the incinerator, and we don't have any trash bags, unfortunately. I don't know whether we can buy them, or we're going to have to go to a different area. And find them, which will probably cost us more to get there than what we would get. So what did that say? That it would give us 50 for each. Gives you $50 for each mixed waste. So that would have been a nice little money earner, because over in this section there was just piles and piles of garbage bags which we could have incinerated. That's going to just about do it for this playthrough. You can see there I have just 30 seconds until we have a look at what treasures we're going to be bestowed upon us. I've got various different products here that I can use in our processing machines, but somehow I'm going to have to find a way to go and find some trash bags to then meet the next task. So we'll wait the countdown to see what we get. There we go, look at this. Ooh, that was interesting. A metal stove. A metal stove. I'm just going to sell those now. No trash bags, unfortunately. Now does that say it's damaged? I don't know whether we can restore those. So for now, as I say, let's leave that there. That's just about wraps up the video. And hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in future ones. Remember, if you're enjoying the videos, give them a thumbs up, and please do, if you can spare a second, hit that subscribe button.